The new season's underway. Ipswich wasn't the best start. Obviously, we lost 1-0, and frankly, we never looked like scoring. If you watch the Davo's diary, you'll see what everyone had to say.
Got nothing up front.
No sign of a goal today.
Nothing at all. We need some players, mate, and quick.
Even before the match, I think Debbie said it best. There's just not much difference in the makeup of the team from last season to this season. We need some new additions. We haven't had much luck in the transfer market. It's frustrating for all of us. It's frustrating for Harry. He's made that clear. So one thing we definitely won't be doing is selling Shay Adams. And we certainly won't be selling him to Derby. And never in a million years for £3 million. £3 million? The Pope could offer that and we'd tell him on your bike, son. Gary Rowett offering £3 million. Come on, Gaz. You're having a laugh there, pal. Now, a lot of us, myself included, still hold Gary in high regard for the job he did for us. But that bid is a bit of a joke. And I'm sure Gary knows it. Because look what Shay did against Crawley. He's made it clear once again, just like he did at Bristol on the final day, that he's our best hope going forward. He's 21, he's got bags of pace, he's strong, he's got an eye for goal, he's a lad that gives it his all every single game. And now he just needs to become a bit more prolific to reach his potential. He's the best asset we've got at the club, bar none. And he's worth way more than £3 million, especially to us. Especially in the circumstances. So that's a cheeky one by Rowett. Blues fans, what do you think? Has Rowett gone down in your estimations for putting in that bid? Is he trying to unsettle the player? I dare say he might be on the wind-up with that one, because that figure is just not even in the ballpark. I dare say there's still no love lost with him and the Blues board. Panos or no Panos, and he might just be looking to ruffle some feathers. But come on now, Gaz. You know I love you. Not just for what you did for the club, but because you were good to me. But let's not faff about. If you want Shay, I'll tell you now what you need to offer. £1 billion. That's the asking price. Offer £1 billion and we can talk. And to be honest, even if you did offer £1 billion, I don't think he'd want to go. Because by all accounts, Shay Adams loves it at Blues. He seems popular in the dressing room, and you can see why. He's a good lad. He's an unassuming lad. The type of lad I like. There's not many of them about in football. Have a look at his appearance on the Davo's diary from Bristol City. Just after he was the one that kept us up. Just a good-natured lad he is.
We are staying up, say we are staying up!
He's very grounded. I'm sure part of that comes from the fact that he was let go by Coventry at 14 years old and they told him, you're not good enough. So he's had to work for it. And he appreciates it. And that's the kind of lad that you want to keep and you want to see succeed for the club. And I think he wants to be here. He's happy here. He knows he'll always be a hero for that goal at Ashton Gate. And he's happy in Birmingham. Which, let's be honest, in terms of entertainment, dining, demographics, has got a lot more going for it than most places in the Championship for a lad like Shay. And Shay has come out and said that he's not affected by the speculation. He's focusing on his football. He's playing for Blues, and that's that. He's keeping it professional. You can find his quotes in the article by Brian Dick in the Birmingham Mail. And again, it's just the sign of a good down-to-earth lad. He's talking about just wanting to put a proper shift in and be a proper man. And that he's 21 and he wants to establish himself as a mature, experienced player. That's just music to your ears as a fan. And you add all of that together with what he can do on the pitch. And I think he can be really special. He can be a real Blues legend. So we're keeping him, we're not selling him. For the first time in a long time, we're not desperate for cash. We're not a selling club. We're a buying club at the minute. There's just no way we can let our best asset go. For years now, we've had to sell our best young players. Nathan Redmond, Damari Gray, Jack Butland. Well, Shay Adams will not be the next one on that list. If a big Premier League club comes in for him, then fair enough. That's a different story. But I think he's still got a lot of developing to do before he starts attracting that kind of attention. And from the way he's talking, he knows that. He knows he's got a knuckle down. He said that Harry's given him the target of 20 goals this season. And if he reaches that, then you'll see the speculation go into overdrive because there'll be a lot bigger clubs than Derby coming in for him. And it's interesting because the topic of what Rowett did in the transfer market still comes up to this day. It's still something that some people hold against him. People have a go at him for wasting $500,000 on Brock Madsen. Now, fair enough. Brock Madsen was an absolute waste of space. And there's a reason we're letting him go for nothing. Because that's all he's worth. But I think Rowett more than made up for it with the Che Adams signing. Whatever way you look at it, for £1.5 million, that's a brilliant bit of business because his value is only going up and up and up. And now, thanks in large part to Che, here we are in the second round of the League Cup, or as it's now known, the Carabao Cup. God knows what Carabao is. If anyone can fill me in the comment section, please do. But it'll always be the Carling Cup for me. We know our history with it. The greatest day in recent memory for West Midlands football. Now look, I know it's seen as a distraction by most managers these days, but fair play to Harry. He obviously had the lads at it against Crawley, and that's exactly the result that we needed. With the disappointment of the loss at Ipswich and our inability to sign a striker so far, the last thing we needed was a cup upset, because people would have started to panic. As it is, we're in the next round, so the question now is, who do we want in the draw? Who do we want to face? This is always an interesting time. I love a cup draw. It's a chance to play someone you're not going to play in the league. Now here's the list of teams that we can be drawn against. Have a look at that. Of course, I'd love West Ham away. I really would. We need to go to the Olympic Stadium and really christen the place. Because in my eyes, it hasn't fully opened until we've been there. And just imagine the fun we'd have walking through the shopping centre there in Stratford. But it turns out that they're holding a flipping athletics event there that week. So even if we get drawn to play them away, we have to play them at home. So scrap that. Obviously, we want Villa. West Brom would be good. We haven't been to the Hawthorns in a long time. And I'd definitely be up for a trip to Leicester or Stoke, because we've had some great away days there. We'd take a good number. Palace away would be okay. A London away day is always good in my book. Obviously, with it being on a weeknight, we wouldn't take the usual 4,000 that we take to Fulham, but we'd take a decent number and we'd go there and we'd show them that good support isn't about waving flags around and pretending to be Italian ultras or whatever it is they're doing there. But let me know what you think. Who would you like to play? For me, looking at the list, other than the ones I've mentioned, it's just much of a muchness. It's teams that we're facing in the Championship anyway. It's teams that we've recently played, or it's nothing Premier League sides that I'd just rather not play at all. It's teams like Swansea, who we've already played twice in the Cup in the last few seasons. We don't need to play them again. God knows we don't need another game against Brighton for a long time. But knowing our luck, now that I've said that, that's who we'll get. Brighton away on a Tuesday night. Can't wait. But let me know below, what do you think? Who would you like to face? We'd be the underdog against the vast majority of these teams, obviously. That's why they're seeded and we're not. But we are due another good cup run. It's time, I firmly believe it. And I do like the League Cup, not just because we won it, but because you get the night games, there's no faffing about with replays, and once you get past the first 2 or 3 rounds, you can really start to smell a trip to Wembley. So I just hope we do well in it, and ideally get far enough just to face one of the real big boys. Home or away, Man U, Liverpool, Arsenal. Come on, get them down to St Andrews, under the floodlights, packed out crowd. Take 6,000 down to the Emirates and just sing about Obafemi Martins all game long. Take a rowdy crowd up to Anfield. It's about time that places like that got to see our brilliant away support again, because it's been too long. And I'll tell you one thing, I spoke to a steward at Portman Road on Saturday. He's been working there for years, and he said we were rowdier against Ipswich than Norwich have ever been. That's a statement there when you consider that Norwich are their rivals. That's a credit to us as much as it is a statement about Norwich. We're a proper club. No one can ever take that away from us. Remember that. Che Adams knows it. And that's why he ain't going anywhere. He's staying here. And if we can just get a couple of attacking signings who can do the business next to him, then the sky's the limit. I really believe it. Who would be the perfect strike partner for Che? Let me know in the comments. Be realistic. We've got money. We haven't got that much, but we've got money we can spend. The market's gone wild, yes, but we're going to bring someone in. I know we haven't signed the attacking players that we would have liked, but the deadline isn't for another 3 weeks yet. There's still time for Harry and the staff to get a few things done. There's still time for a loan or two from a Premier League club. There's going to be good players at top clubs who can't get a look in, and we need to snap 1 or 2 of them up. If you've got anyone in mind, let me know. And by the end of the month, that's when we'll know what we're really all about this season. That's when we can really start to assess the squad. Because for now, it's a work in progress. We're just treading water, really, until then. Obviously, the first home game in the league is coming up this weekend. I'm well up for it. I'll be doing a Davo's diary, so come and find me, before or after the match and share your thoughts, because that's what it's all about. Until then, as always, keep right on and up the Blues.